Hey there. Hello, welcome to Cooking with Nick. Here at Cooking with Nick we like to do different types of recipes and cooking things that we can do in the kitchen that I have lots of practice with here at my home. Basically the idea of the show is to teach you guys and help as a community, everybody, to learn better how to make certain products and certain types of food. So today I got something special. Today we're going to be doing top ramen. Now top ramen is a very useful food to know how to cook because it's very cheap. And you can get very large amounts of it at a time, and you really need very few supplies to cook it. So today we're going to be using the, it's called the Nissan brand, or Nissan. It's the top ramen one. There's other types of brands. It doesn't really matter what one you use. I just like to use the Nissan one because it's probably the cheapest. I don't really know. But anyway, so what you're going to need 2 bags of that. You're going to need a pot, preferably with a mildly taller rim than the average cooking pot, and then you need a bowl to put it in, something to stir with, and then just water. So yeah, I mean, from there let's get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is you just take the packet like so, and you're going to want to crush up the noodles. And the reason you crush the noodles up in the bag, and don't do it too hard so you pop the bag, but the reason you crush it up is to leave the noodles all broken up so it becomes much more of a soup rather than like eating noodles with liquid. So it becomes much more of a textured soup. So let's crush up the other bag here. There we go. Alright, so now after the bags are crushed up, I like to open them up and pull out the little flavor packets that are contained inside. These little flavor packets will be useful to us later. I'll show you what to do with them. There's another one right here. There's normally always one in every top ramen packet. I've only seen a few where it's not the case. So now we have these. We have the bags open and ready to go and enter the pot. So what we should do next is take whatever pot you're using and fill it with some water. About halfway. I mean, use a reasonable sized pot, and whatever it is will end up being about halfway. So let's fill that up. Alright. So that looks pretty good there. It's not too much water, just enough for the noodles to kind of have some space within. And then we're going to take it and then put it on any stove. Depending on the type of stove you have, it might work differently for you, but we're just going to turn on whatever heating setting you have and set it to about medium or high. You could put it on low, but low will take a long time to cook something that's in a metal pot. It could take up to like 6 or 7 days. So you don't want to take that much time. You'll just put it on high or medium. And at this point, we need to just kind of wait for it to boil. Looks like it's boiling. That's good. Okay, so now that it's boiling, we're in good shape because we basically have everything solved. Most of the process is complete. Now what we're going to do at this point is we're going to get ourselves a timer ready. I like to use my phone timer. Some people use other things, but phone timer to me is the most convenient. And you want to set it for 3 minutes. Now you don't start it yet. Just get it on standby because what you're going to do to this point is add in your noodles. So let's add them in. There we go. Got those noodles in there, and now we start the timer. So that's 3 minutes of cooking noodles for you, ready to go. So kind of set the garbage bags aside, and then we're going to get our flavor packets ready during this time. So yeah, just kind of shake the packets about to get them all the powder organized on one side, and then we're just going to rip it easily on the perforated lines. Oh, shit, there we go. That's one flavor packet ready. And we get the other one. Still 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, so we got plenty of time here to do this flavor packet. one's open now. All that powder in there. Now, as you can see here, there's lots of bubbles rising in the concoction that we have, and this is caused by lack of stirring. So essentially, what happens when the water is boiling and cooking these noodles is, over time, it's slowly building up more pressure around it, which is causing these bubbles to come forth. If you leave it alone too long, you run the risk of the pot overflowing onto whatever surface that you're cooking on. A good way to solve this is a simple stir, or one thing I do as a precaution for when I cook top ramen is this taller pot, which it's unrealistic to get for it to possibly boil over because of how much water you put into it. But if it ever did, I mean, that would be a mess. So I like to stir it anyways. And the second benefit you get from stirring is that you make sure all the noodles are cooking evenly, which is very important because you don't want some crunchy noodles and some that are not. So it's good to rebalance them around the pot. All right, we got about a minute left on the cooking process. So don't touch the heat or anything. Just be patient and wait. Sometimes during this time I like to watch a video on my phone. I'm not going to do it right now, but sometimes I would. Sometimes I might, I could get some tasks I need to do finished. Maybe like clean some of my chairs. If you have any chairs that need to be cleaned. If you clean the couch or anything you need to be cleaned, 3 minutes is a good time to give everything a good cleaning. So that's one thing you can do while you're waiting. But again, you do risk the pot overflowing. So make sure you do come back and stir now and then, and try not to mess with any cleaning products during that time because you definitely want to poison yourself. Alright, looks like our timer's finished. So at this point we're just going to turn off the heat here. And now you're going to see it start to just kind of simmer down nicely and neatly and organized. Alright, so we've got the soup nice and ready. At this point what we're going to want to do is add it into the bowl. But before we can do that, we got lots of liquid inside of the pot here, a little bit excess. And since I don't like to have too much inside of it, I'm going to pour a little bit of that out because we've got a little bit extra water here. Sometimes you have to shift it around to get the good spot to get some water. If you lose some noodles, it's okay. And it looks like it's about good now, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to add it into the bowl. Damn it, that went hot. You need to be careful when you add it to the bowl because you could splash yourself. And if you do that, it definitely doesn't feel great. So we rinse out the bowl here, or the pot here, and in doing that we almost finished cleaning it, but we'll do that later. And now we're going to kind of mix the noodles a bit into the water so that it's even. And at this point we're going to take our flavor packets, which we had from before, open up a little bit, and then we're just going to drop them into the soup. Now the flavor packets, they dissolve because of the water and heat, so they're going to be able to easily mix in and disperse. And you want to get maximum surface area coverage when you stir them in. And to do that, we're going to be using the spoon left and right, up and down, all these different directions. Try to get deeper into the noodles if you can, just to really spread out all of the flavor. Now I'm using chicken flavor because I very much do like chickens. If you don't like chicken, that's fine. You can use pork flavor or beef or shrimp or chili or like spicy beef. There's a lot of different flavors, but I personally love chickens myself, so I'm going to be using the chicken flavor. And man, okay, it looks like it's all getting completely mixed in. There's no blank spots or anything anywhere. And at that point, there's really not anything else to do. You can add anything else you want afterwards. I like to eat mine just plain. And as you can see here, we have a finished product of top ramen. That's the perfect color right there. So, now that I've showed you everything there is, make sure you clean up everything you've done, and you got a bowl top ramen ready. Thanks for joining us this time on Cooking with Nick. I really appreciate everybody's support, and I guess with that said, c'est la vie. Fuck, fuck, fuck.